Yo guys, what is going on? Nickname is just Yellow, and today this Norwegian hardcore PC gamer with his silly headwear to keep all the long hair in, you can barely see it pushing out right there. I'm gonna make a video. It's gonna be Cologne 2015 Pick'em Challenge. It's gonna be player Pick'em for the signatures, and then the team Pick'em. I'm gonna try and make it as simple as possible, but also as detailed as possible, which is pretty difficult. I'm gonna give you also by signatures a lot of different options that may or may not make sense. Keep in mind that if any team players on any teams will get a draw in terms of kills, or actually in any brackets right here, as we can see, if any of these players on these two teams, if any one of them get a draw, even if more than like 2 or so, as you can see right here, just having one of them picked right, that will actually give you 6 points. So it makes it pretty easy in these groups, more so, to pick the right player for that scenario that may or may not, will or will not be able to get the most pistol kills, in which thus will, you know, earn you 6 more points. So with that being said, let's first go over the teams that are the most sensible to pick right here, that may or may not win, in which this just seemed the most sensible, but there are 2 iffy ones here. To me, I think it looks a little bit dodgy Envious against Navi, mainly because Envious got a different roster, and also it seems like do or die time for Navi, but I think it still looks stable enough for me to pick Envious. Reasons for that, for example, is because the players that they was able to swap out with those in Titan were, for example, Keness, and players of that kind of caliber, and or any change in that angle, and you're still at that kind of level in this tournament. For example, by the way, I just think that that sets a pretty strong trend against Navi, even though again Navi, if they are not going to do anything, or if they're going to do something, I think now is the time to prove it, but it just looks way too solid with Envious. Also, you know, Envious used to be LDLC. LDLC has in the past won a tournament, so it just looks way too solid and bulletproof compared to Navi there. The same trend goes with TSM, but way more against Kingwin, and let me explain, okay? So on the Take TV event that was going on not too long ago, they went out straight instantly. So that means that there's no info or very little info on TSM in terms of their current way of playing the game out there, and already they've been able to beast in, you know, earlier days, or the early months actually before that, just dominating over everybody, which is pretty fucking awesome. So that being the trend for TSM, I don't think that Kingwin, which is relatively new and doesn't have that much experience, and also seem very hit or miss when they don't play, you know, pretty well, just does not seem like they will be able to mount up against Kingwin, I mean TSM, for Dignitas. Even more so, that is probably the case because TSM right here, they just outright smashed NiP, and there you go. There's no data to research on TSM, so they're probably gonna wipe the floor with Kingwin, but I hope for an upset just like we saw with Cloud9, just proving that if you want to play against Europeans, you gotta be able to properly utilize the players you have. Might not be the case for Kingwin. Virtus.pro against NiP right here, it seems like do or die time for both these teams, to be honest. They're both been around for a decent amount of time by now, even more so with NiP. They have not been able to, or even more so than with Virtus.pro, they've not been able to actually properly squeeze out that extra proper performance that will allow them to move on fourth. Even though again NiP always do that, and they don't even try that hard. I don't fucking know if that is even the right way of putting it, but it's silly how they play, and they are always able to get further or not. Even though again, yeah, it is supposed to, is that how you're supposed to play? I think you should rather play the game like Fnatic, in which just play very consistent and always get to the final, and they always play really well. So it's going to be very interesting to see if these teams meet right here. That is like a quarter of the reason for why I'm choosing both these teams right here. The other one is that both have won a major. The third one is that they've both met many times in majors. All of these reasons prove that regardless of their weird methods or stable methods, they probably will proceed over Luminosity and Virtus.pro. Even though, again, I like Virtus.pro, and I just hope that they will eventually, you know, win a series major, even though, again, they have gotten some older achievements in that avenue. But anyways, so that being the thing, let's go over here to the player pick'ems. I will give you multiple alternatives, but mainly I'm going to pick a couple of ones that I will mention first myself, okay? So a couple of dudes, one, I think, especially on NHL TV, went through a couple of numbers, and he made a couple of sensible choices. Now keep in mind that I'm going to try and pick the players that will be for the longest of time in battle in a position in which they will have to buy a pistol. which means that either they will be a little bit stomped, or they will be severely stomped, or maybe a team will stomp them so much that is going to be all there will be in terms of getting pistol kills or not. So with that being the deal, the ones I wrote down and I picked, let's see here, first I picked for, let's see, which one was first right here? Navi and, okay, so, yeah, okay. So here I actually chose Flamey and Navi, and the reason for that is because they're probably gonna have to stand on the heel of their foot against Navi, and that means that Navi is probably gonna force them into more pistol engagements, and that means that probably Flamey in Navi is going to be able to get more pistol kills. He already had the lead though, thus far in the tournament, with 11, 1 above Edward and Apex at 10 each, which are relevant players for this group. So take your pick. Personally, I'm going to take the one that by stats has already proven themselves to be the best. But keep in mind though that anybody here can suddenly do incredibly well in any kind of avenue of the game, you know, you never really know. So yeah, I almost hope I'm wrong in that sense. Even more so, like let's imagine that suddenly 3 people get a draw in the amount of pistol kills. That would be kind of cool, because that way even more people get the right answer. So let's hope for that. Let's see here. So next one is going to be Kingwin against TSM. Here I'm actually going to choose outright Michaelele, the end. The reason is that he was able to get a whooping 16 pistol kills, and he's now going to have to face TSM, which is just absolutely beast. So he probably got to get a lot more, if not that many, if he's going to be able to keep it up. So yeah, pretty obvious in that avenue. That's going to be an easy fight against Kingwin. So moving to Nip against Virtus Pro. Here I'm going to choose Forrest because he was able to get 13, but he's only one ahead against Alu with 12. And keep in mind, Alu is, you know, AWPer, so his secondary is going to be his trusty friend whenever or not he have to whip it out if his one shot, 1 kills does not succeed. What this means, again, is that he might have to or will get the opportunity against Virtus Pro, which will not, by the way, allow Nip to win easily, and Nip will allow them to have the fight, which is a silly way of just, you know, that's how Nip plays. It's weird. But anyways, it just means that more engagements will happen, and it just creates an opportunity for Nip to get more pistol kills, even though, again, they have frequently proven themselves to get to the final. Even though, again, when will that end? Maybe it should end now? I don't know. Just silly. Stupid trends. So anyways, we got Fnatic then against Luminosity. Here I'm gonna choose Flusha because he got 11 pistol kills up until now. But actually coldzera and Fur both got 11 as well. So take that for what you will. Even though, again, we know that former Keystars, which now are Luminosity Gaming, they are actually pretty good. I personally don't think that they will be able to beat Fnatic right here. And I'm going to take it for granted, by the way, that this is going to be best of 3. Which means that it's not gonna be, you know, single elimination bullshit right here. Like here, for example, in which even the sample of being able to pick a player here and thus pick the right stat is even worse. It's gonna be probably more stable right here. But either way, probably gonna be Fnatic then. So yeah, there's that. Hopefully that helped you people out. Take that for what you will. Just keep in mind that nobody will be perfectly right, you know, so if you want to blame me for being wrong here, I'm gonna blame me for being wrong, you know, but I'm expecting it because it's just gamble bullshit with stickers, you know. It's gonna be impossible to get all these right. So anyways, yeah, same actually goes for the teams, by the way, but it's, you know, it's not set in stone what will happen, so it's gonna be exciting. But anyways, hopefully people will enjoy the event. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, and yeah, don't get beastified when you play, people.